the name of God, the most merciful, the most compassionate, ladies and gentlemen, may the blessings of Allah be upon you all. Welcome to the opening of the third Gulf Forum. Before we start the first day's proceedings, today's proceedings will be devoted to the GCC's relations with Turkey. First, I'd like to invite Dr. Azmi Bishara to deliver his welcoming remarks. Good morning to you all and welcome. It's our honor to host you with the opening of the third annual Gulf Studies. We are very pleased indeed that this gathering, this forum, call it what you like, has become now one of the important gatherings which is held once a year to discuss the Gulf affairs on two tracks, one constant strategic geopolitical one and a second track which deals with other changing themes and studies. The Arab Center is an academic center which strives to make discussions here are based on academic foundations, and this is probably one of the secrets of our success. The first day of this forum will be devoted to researchers and scholars from the Gulf countries in general and from Turkey, and I don't think there is any need to speak in terms of how relative this issue is. The fact that experts from both parts of the world, from the Gulf and Turkey, can sit down and discuss aspects of relations, and on this occasion I would like to welcome Mr. Burhanettin Duran and his colleagues from the SETA Center in Turkey. This is the first in our collaboration offers. In fact, we have collaborated before, but this is the first event we sort of collaborate on. The Arab Center for Research and Policy Studies and my dear colleagues, I thank them first of all, and I would like to avail myself of this opportunity to acknowledge their efforts and to say that it has become one of the most important centers in this part of the world. First of all, because we have unlimited support by the country which hosts us, and I mean unlimited support, and they never interfere in our academic activity. And secondly, we provide the ground, being based in Doha, and Doha provides the space, really. We hold here no less than 6 conferences a year, whereby no less than 1,000 scholars and experts gather, sit together and think and look at the Arab world as well. We are a research center, we are not a think tank. We deal with history, politics, sociology, philosophy, anything, but we have a unit for political analysis which is similar to think tanks. We really like to avoid this kind of description, and this is so far as today is concerned. Tomorrow we will be opening one of the most important activities, and that is the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies, which will be graduating this year. The first we will invite it to the campus tomorrow, and Dr. Marwan will be explaining you later on. The sessions of this forum will be held in the campus tomorrow. And amongst other achievements of the Arab Center for Research Policy Studies, we will be introducing our first dictionary for the Arabic language, which is the result of a lot of hard work for years now by a group of distinguished experts and scholars. Another point worth mentioning here is that we continue along the path that we have started, and now that we are here and we are part and parcel, an integral part of our nation, and we are not detached from it, it's obvious why we are here, meeting here with our Turkish brothers. First of all, I would like you to stand for 1 minute in silence in remembrance of our martyrs in Aleppo, in Yemen, in other parts. Please rise for 1 minute in silence as a mark of respect. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Azmi Bishara, for his welcoming remarks. Now I invite Dr. Burhanettin Duran, the head of SETA Center, to deliver his own welcoming remarks on the occasion of today's joint meeting.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to this timely meeting organized by Arab Center of Research and Policy Studies and SETA Foundation. We are very glad to co-organize this event, and I also would like to thank Arab Center for Research for their valuable collaboration, and especially the General Director, Azmi Bishara. It is also great to be in Qatar once again to discuss both bilateral and regional issues. As we all know, the region is going through difficult times. Civil wars, armed conflicts dominates our discussions. The Arab Spring's positive atmosphere faded rather quickly, and the region is being reshaped. And Turkey, as a country lying at the frontiers of the Middle East, is also facing many challenges, and many of them have roots in the developments in the Middle East. On the night of 15th July 2016, coup plotters directed by the Gülenist terrorist organization, also known as FETA in Turkey, seized the control over some critical institutions and spots, mainly in Ankara and Istanbul. There was a harsh use of military power. There was harsh use of force with arms in pointing the weapons of the Turkish military to the people of Turkey. The democratic reflexes of the people and the strong leadership of Erdogan helped Turkey out of this cruel night. Courageous people defended the Turkish democracy by standing up against the plotters, by standing up in front of tanks. Bullets targeted their bodies, but the determination of the people showed us how important was a stable Turkey for them. Well, actually, plotters was in a miscalculation. They calculated that they can lead some opposition people against Erdogan and AK Party. but they didn't predict Turkish people would strongly embrace the administration they elected. Turkish people were and are still strongly preserving their institutions, their future, and most important, their homeland. The common awareness of the Turkish people that a coup can lead a state to chaos, such like in Egypt or Syria, was a major factor in preventing this coup attempt. At this point, the question is, what does the July 15 coup attempt mean for the future of Turkish democracy? Well, actually, Turkey is a country that has experienced several military coups in its history. All of them created serious societal polarizations and caused a delay of Turkey's democratization. All coups have not faced any resistance from the public, and this silence was interpreted as recognition of the junta. In the case of July 15, the people of Turkey opposed the attempt from the very beginning. The level of civil resistance and the maturity of Turkish people following the coup attempt, despite the use of live ammunition by the plotters against the civilians, were remarkable. For the first time in the recent history of the region, a coup attempt by the military of the country was prevented by the mobilization of the civilians. In this sense, the failed coup attempt, through active intervention of the public, will be a serious juncture in the democratic history of the region. Last but not least, the Gülenist infiltration of the state apparatus played a significant role in this coup attempt. Seeing the hard evidence as well as the testimonies of the coup plotters, everybody understood the direct link between them and the Gülen movement. As you know, Turkey was taking action against the Gülenists since December 2013 with strict measures. The coup attempt was the last measure of their activities against Turkey. Turkey and its people are very grateful to the Gulf states, especially Qatar and Saudi Arabia and their people, for showing strong support to the will of Turkish people. In this regard, special thanks are dedicated to Emir of Qatar, the foreign minister, and the Qatari government. Actually, the Qatari foreign minister was one of the very first foreign statesmen who visited Turkey after the coup attempt. As Turkish people, we would like to express our deepest thanks to the other Gulf states that did not hesitate to show their support. Well, you know, in the region in which we are living, are experiencing some difficulties, some common threats, and new realities. Also, the new realities in the international system is forcing countries to think their relations in new terms. I mean, the rise of extreme right in Western democracies, hostility towards migrants, Islamophobia, and the rise of populist governments. These are all new realities to face together. We all know that our region, Middle East, is also evolving into a new phase. Traditional alliances are being shattered. Who would have guessed, for example, a few years ago that the US would nurture a partnership with Iran despite the concern of its traditional regional allies regarding Iran's sectarian expansion? Within this chaotic atmosphere, Qatari-Turkish relations is a success story. It presents a viable alternative to the clashing visions of the regional countries on regional issues. Economic, political, and energy cooperation has already been strong between the two countries, and recently a new dimension has been added to the bilateral relations. It is the security dimension. Increasing security challenges in the Middle East, common threats, and regional crises brought the two countries together and deepened the level of cooperation. And I believe that this is a very clear example to further the relations between Gulf and Turkey. Of course, there can be a new cooperation to have sensitivity regarding the Gulf security. Actually, Turkish and Saudi Arabian relations similarly has gained momentum, especially after the enthronement of the King Salman. And we all know that the countries in the region are working hard to diversify and strengthen bilateral ties in the wake of complex crises, changing realities in the region. Economy is one of them, and I think the relative stability of Turkey and the Gulf countries compared to other countries has provided a safe ground for advancing commercial steps. On this note, let me stop here. Once again, thank you very much for your valuable contributions to this conference. I am looking forward to the discussions.
شكرا جزيلا للدكتور.
Thank you very much, Dr. Burhan. Ladies and gentlemen, the Forum for Gulf Studies began in September 2014. I think it's one of the most important academic meetings that are held on an annual basis to bring together the academicians and intellectuals to discuss the challenges that the region is facing. This year we have chosen the economic aspects that are the most important challenges that the region is facing and the Gulf states in light of the drop in oil prices and the effect of that on the social and economic life. And it's expected that this drop in the prices will continue for some time, and that will affect, will have strategic effects and will lead to some social, economic and political pressures in the coming years at the time that the Gulf states are facing this important military confrontation, as is the case in Yemen. And so the Gulf states need to face all these challenges on the regional and the world level. In fact, these challenges are the second theme of our conference, which are the external